the boat I have today is the ZET Director. I had tried to paddle one of these. I did a review on the Toro and the Chili and the Cross and the 5, and I tried to get my hands on a Director, but the guys from ZET didn't have any Directors in stock, so I didn't get a chance to paddle one. But big shout out to my buddy Scott Gross. He's a supporter of the channel, and he had this boat, and he just happened to be in town, and he asked me if I wanted to give it a whirl. I know it's an older model boat. I'll go ahead and throw the specs up on the screen of this boat now. Comes in at 8'9". I think it's at 95 gallons, so it's kind of like a short, high volume boat. It is a large, so this would be part of the large category. And the biggest thing about this thing, it's got that ZET outfitting, and I won't go over the outfitting a lot, but it's got this beautiful seat, foam seat, super comfortable, adjustable thigh hooks that are very foamy, very comfortable. I love the cushion on these, and the amazing ratchets. Really good job on their outfitting. ZET, you know, you could check out my Toro video or my Cross video and see some more on the ZET outfitting here. One thing you're going to notice is it has like a very bulbous, fat stern on it, not like the modern boats that have that flat stern and wide. And it's very like a lot of volume back in here, and then it kind of stays very voluminous from here to here and then tapers off. Not a lot of rocker and not a lot of width in the bow, which is more like a dated look. Very aggressive deck stylings on it. I love the deck stylings that they did on this. You know, they recessed the drain plug. That's always a plus, a recessed drain plug. Big metal grab handles. Very nice on the grab handles. Feels sturdy. I think this would be a great safety boat, and that was one of the things that he bought it for, was to do rescue swimmers and all that. It's a little lower, which has more of like an old school feel to it. It does have a tapered bulkhead. What I do like is they have that bulkhead and it's tapered forward, which gives you a very comfortable position. You know, bungee there, seat pad, a lot of room in that stern. I can tell you guys, if you're gonna, and look, they have a big football down in the bottom for extra volume. If you're gonna have a boat to load gear down and do like overnighters or load a lot of gear down, this is probably the boat. Let's roll it over and let's see the business. Look at this edge. This edge is like nothing I've seen. You guys leave in the comments below if you've seen an edge that does this. It's not a hard edge, it's down. It's like an open gap. So look at it, and it runs, it fades out there and turns into another edge all the way down. But look at it, this edge is not like the Cross and it's not like the 5. This is a drastically different boat than those two. And it comes down, it's flat right there, but the edge just kind of fades out right there. Very beautiful the way they did that edge down there. Look at that. Really flat in the center. Tune in to the end, because I will be giving my final thoughts of what I'm about to paddle this thing and put it through its paces, and I'll give you my final thoughts. There are chapters, if you don't want to hear me, if you don't want to see me paddle, just fast forward to the end and you can see my final thoughts of what I thought about this boat. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got right now on the walkthrough. Let's put this thing on the water. Definitely a big planing surface in the middle. The stability's like right here. It's like, it's all right in here. Like it feels like everything right here, just from sitting in the water like this, it's all in this dead center. You're gonna drive it all from right there. It's got an interesting rail running, not the full length. It's kind of like a concave rail you've seen in my walk through here to beginning. And it's not high rock, it's nowhere near the rocker by today's standards. This is more that flat planing surface. You definitely want to kind of watch out for it. How it holds a line. When you get it going, it's holding the line well. And it's got to be because it has that low rocker in the front. So it's got a lot of tail volume. It's a little hard to tail load it because the volume's so much. See, now you're gonna find that you can't drop this tail down like you can, say, like a Scorch or something. The newer modern boats, they've learned that less tail volume back there and being wider is the way to go. This has like definitely like an old school feel to it, but it feels good to be as old a boat as it is. I don't know how long ZET's had this in their lineup. ZET plastic just comes off of rocks so different than anything else out there. Get this little eddy here. Or try to anyway. It's hard to slow your momentum down on this wave. So this is M wave. See, I felt that rail grab, and having an edgy boat is what helps get you out of holes easier. You could have got me. Oh yeah. Settling down. I think it's piling in that concave rail and bouncing me. So it was bouncing a lot. I went to try to whip it around and it caught that back edge. I really like the outfitting. Outfitting's super comfortable, exactly like the ZET Cross and 5, that comfortable outfitting. Definitely does not have that lift ability that the newer modern bows have. This thing wants to pierce through and come out the backside. Let's give it another whirl and do more eddies this time. See, it's almost like that stability will fall over on you. So it's got like a good initial stability, but the secondary is a little lacking on it. Take it to the woodshed. Man, there's a lot of tail volume. When you're here, it drives well and it stays on course. But if you start getting back here, it seems to get a little loosey on you. Oh, I love how that whippy edge, there's something to that rail. The best feature on this boat is that carving edge. Here we go. Final thoughts on this thing. Let me give you my opinion here. What I think it did really well is definitely its edge movement from eddy to eddy. It drops in those grooves right here. It drops in those rails, and I was able to obtain up to eddies and zip around the river. Very flat and planing, so it had that ability to go side by side really fast. It has like a dated rocker feel to it. It wants to come through and pierce into the waves and go through them. But it doesn't load. The tail gets pushed because it's so flat. It gets pushed, unlike a Scorch or something that's flat that gets loaded and lifts and goes. This one definitely is not one of those to lift and go. It gets shoved out. Yeah, I did feel water hit here a few times and kind of get me offline. That's where I think now modern boats have that thin tail that's a lot better than this tail. This is a very kind of dated tail, but it is a 10-year-old boat. So for the time, I think it's actually a really good design for its time. But by today's standard, it feels very dated while paddling it. But I did like it. I did like the boat. It paddled, it didn't paddle, this edge did not paddle like nothing I'd paddle. I don't know what to compare that edge to.
It's phenomenal. That's all I can say. It's got, you think it would be more aggressive when you paddle with it, but it's actually, it puts you in more control. Like some other boats with a hard edge,
exactly,
it'll bite and pull you. This one just lets you go.
That's a good point you made, because I didn't feel that it got like grabbed. It never grabs because it's curled. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it has a flare curl down to it, and it almost like rolls off of things. But when you want it, you tilt that baby up on the edge and it zips around the river. Yeah, the bow felt very dated. I hated the bow. I cannot stand it. I cannot stand this bow. I'm not rocker spoiled. I know what all you guys are probably gonna say, he's just spoiled by rocker. But no, I'm just telling you that it's not the rocker, but it's the width. I don't like that. I don't like how narrow it is here. I wish it was wider up there where it would come out and bust out of holes better. I didn't like the stern either. I didn't like how that got pushed. This got pushed out of holes instead of loading, and was able to control it. Those are my two negatives. Outfitting, absolutely amazing. Really comfortable on the outfitting. Super light boat. I think it comes in around about 49 pounds or so. Compare that to like, I think a Scorch large is like 56. That is crazy. And it's all because of that outfitting.
For me, when I go through a hole, I actually put it at a 45 degree.
Scott's right, because one thing I wanted to do was get it on edge like that. It's more of an old school way of paddling, because now it goes up and then you transition back real fast, where the new school way is kind of come in, load, and then you can make adjustments in the air and land. So it does have an old school paddling style to it, of getting it on an edge and going up. So yeah, big shout out to my buddy here, Scott. So let's go try out some more boats. So yeah, thanks a lot, buddy. Right here.